Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Captain Jim Palmer, the Dream Business Coach. I'm the founder of the Dream Business Mastermind and coaching program, creator of the Dream Business Academy, host of Dream Business Radio. I think you're getting the idea here. Everything dream business related. Anyway, welcome to Captain Jim's. Let's put up the thing here. Welcome to Captain Jim's Summer of Success series. And my intention is for the next 6 weeks or so, I'll be joining you every Tuesday afternoon for a special series of live trainings, all designed to help you grow your dream business faster. Now, these trainings are intended to be pretty fast-paced. First of all, it's just the way I talk. Second of all, I want them to be 15 to 20 minutes or so. They're not going to be an hour long. I'm not going to waste anybody's time with fluff or happy talk or some kind of loony pie in the sky. Sit under a tree and vibrate your way to success type of thinking. Creating success in business as a small business owner is hard. And anybody that tells you otherwise is just not shooting straight with you. And that's not me. You know, I once heard somebody say that they could predict how successful somebody might be if they looked at somebody and saw their skill set, their drive, their talent, their ambition, their work ethic, and moral compass. Mix all these ingredients together in a mixing bowl, and they could give somebody an indication of how successful they would be. But I completely disagree with that. All right. Here's what I believe. I think your skill set, your drive, your talent, your ambition, your work ethic, and moral compass, that makes up the machine that is your business. What drives the machine, what fuels that machine is your mindset. Mindset is everything. I mean, in my opinion, you could have the best everything, online, offline, widgets, websites, marketing, traffic, referrals. You could have an incredible work ethic. You could have desire out the wazoo to be successful. But if you're operating from a mindset or a position of lack, or if you have issues with money and investing in yourself, or you fear what other people will think of you, you're never going to achieve all the success that is possible. All right. You have to fix your mindset. That's why I'm starting this summer series on this very topic. Now, before I dive in, I want to share 2 pieces of information with you. Number one, all 6 of my books, my business building books, are available for free in digital format. You can download them as Kindle books on Amazon, as Nook books at barnesandnoble.com, and you can also download them at the Apple iBook store. Now, to date, since I announced this, what I call my Legacy Changes Everything shift, over 10,000 books have been downloaded on Amazon alone, which is holy crap. And so if you like what I'm going to be sharing today and over the next 6 weeks, and you want to continue the education for free, just download my books. No opt-in, no nothing. Just go get them. Second thing, and then we're going to dive right in. A couple weeks ago, I announced my new program, How to Sell from the Stage, VIP private masterclass, which I am super jazzed about this program. I've been thinking about doing this for several years now. The conclusion that I arrived at earlier this year was that there's no way I can do this level of training or this kind of content in a group training program. It's very much a one-on-one, hands-on, intensive thing. So anyway, I shifted from a group training program to what would I have to do working one-on-one. So this program starts out with a full one-on-one day private consult with me, hopefully here on the Floating Home. We can also do it remotely if that's your choice, and then followed up with 3 months of intense coaching in order to, number one, create your attractive brand or your character. I'll help you craft your signature presentation. And then if you really, really, really want to make the most out of this experience, I will teach you how to put on and run your own live event, because that's where the big money will be for you. This is a multifaceted program. Nothing is left to chance. The investment is $49.97. I'm only offering 4 slots a year. Again, it's a huge amount of time. If you're interested in that, you can go to howtosellfromthestage.com, howtosellfromthestage.com. All right, let's talk mindset. Today, we're going to hit on mindset, but I'm going to also kind of skirt around some of the money issues as it relates to mindset. Too many entrepreneurs, in my opinion, are risk averse, which is odd since they started a business in the first place, right? Entrepreneurs that achieve some initial success in business as a business owner, perhaps their business starts to replace the salary that they once had at their job. Many people go into protective mode. In other words, oh, sure, I want to grow, but I'm not going to risk what I already have. Very, very bad. There are two issues at the root of this kind of what I consider a bad mindset. Number one is poverty mindset. You think there's a limited supply of money, so you want to protect what you have. I want more, but I'm not going to risk what I have. Poverty mindset. In some ways, I think that these entrepreneurs, I think they view their business like a job. They just happen to own the business. I've got this job. I own the business. Everything's good. The reality is, though, your business is not a job. It's an investment. It should be viewed as an investment or an asset. And to the degree that you can leverage that investment through smart investing and smart marketing, you can grow that into a substantial income. So what are some of the signs of poverty mindset? If you were to say, Jim, I don't know if I have poverty mindset. Well, here's a couple things to consider. If you don't feel deserving, if you don't know what you want, if you're always putting things off, if you're acting very miserly with money, in other words, if you're out to dinner with some friends and the check comes and you're calculating down to the penny who owes what, instead of, hey, let me pick up the check or whatever. If you're acting miserly with money, you've got a poverty mindset. If you feel guilty that you don't have enough, or if you feel guilty that you have too much, that's a poverty mindset, otherwise known as kind of a lack mindset. If you use the word eventually a lot, that is a sign of poverty mindset. What entrepreneurs must understand about money is this. In any economy, good economies, bad economies, in any economy, money is always flowing. But money doesn't move to the most deserving. It doesn't move to the person that's hoping, wishing, and praying for the longest time. It also doesn't go to the best looking people. Money is always flowing towards value. If you provide a great product or service with incredible value and you market it very smartly with a great brand, you're always going to have growth. You will always be in demand. The second, and perhaps more powerfully kind of a negative force that's holding some entrepreneurs back, is this. It's called imposter syndrome. You truly do not believe that you're entitled to success. Someday you're going to be found out. Or whatever you've grown so far might be taken away. It's a sign of imposter syndrome. It's also a sign of lack. You have to fix those if you're going to achieve some super success as a business owner. Now, one of my favorite expressions I frequently share is this. To the degree that you're willing to invest in yourself, in the future business that you want to have or that you very much desire, that is a direct reflection of the belief and faith in yourself that you are going to be successful. If you believe with all your heart, mind, and soul, and every fiber of your being that what you're doing is good and it's going to help a lot of people, and if you truly believe you're going to be wildly successful, then you're more likely to step up, pony up, push harder and faster to achieve the success that you want. Because I'm always talking about the importance of investing in yourself and the future success that you want to have, kind of my own lingo there. I want to share with you a very, very, very super condensed version of my own journey and how I related to money and how I fixed what was going on in my own money mindset. So it's a quick little story, but there's a lot of lessons in here, okay? Because everything that I teach, every way that I coach business owners about money and entrepreneurship and investing, I've struggled with, but I've overcome myself. So I started my first business in 2001. I had been unemployed for almost a year and a half. I had faced cancer. We're actually 20 years ago this month. July of 2001 was when I first diagnosed. And I had about $40,000 in credit card debt from keeping my family afloat during my unemployment. And I decided to start my business. Hey, why not? My first business was revenue free, which means it took Jim 1 year to get a paying client. Now, people always ask me, how did you get through that first year? And I remember two things. How ridiculous would it be for me to quit now after I spent 1 month, 2 months, 8 months? I can't quit now. How ridiculous would that be? The second thing is I'm not a quitter. And what made me think it would be easy? So I just kept going and going and going. Now, the money part of it is I had 4 teenagers at home, and we had expenses. Stephanie was working, But as bill paying Friday would come around, I would run my credit cards through my own business terminal in my office that I had set up and borrow money to keep my family afloat. So I was like investing in my business by keeping my family afloat. Was it scary? Oh, hell yes. It was very, very scary. But I knew, again, I truly, truly believed, even on my darkest days, that I was going to be successful. And if investing in my future was required to get there, I was going to do that. Now, eventually, I grew my first business to multiple six figures. Around 2007, I started to invest in myself again. I created my first online business called No Hassle Newsletters. I branded myself the newsletter guru. No Hassle Newsletters, the first year, I think I grew it to a whopping 29 members, but I kept at it. I invested. I did paid training. I did Google AdWords. I did a whole host of things, and I kept pouring money into this business, which was kind of hemorrhaging in a way. And eventually I grew No Hassle Newsletters to over 1,200 small business owners in 9 countries, paying me monthly to use my Done For You newsletter templates. There's 2 monumental money decisions that I made along my journey. I'm going to share them with you, and hopefully that it will help you. Number 1, I joined my first mastermind group in 2007. And I also decided to exhibit at a large trade show when No Hassle Newsletters was brand new. Now, the decision to invest in a mastermind, it was a $400 a month decision. Checkbook said no. Heart said yes. Head said hell yes. And luckily I joined. Now, the way I rationalized it to myself, because I wasn't just pissing money around, pardon my expression, I wasn't just, hemorrhaging money. If I can join a mastermind and if I can be influenced or mentored by other smart people and I implement, because I knew I had the work ethic, I could grow. And that's what I did. Within 4 months of joining the mastermind, I launched another program called No Hassle Social Media. And that quickly grew to over $400 a month. And it kept going from there. So that actually replaced that business. The second thing is I had an opportunity when I started No Hassle Newsletters to exhibit at a large national conference of small business owners. It was a $7,500 investment. I always knew that if I could get in front of enough people, I could get more members for No Hassle Newsletters. And what I had to do is I had to borrow every dollar of that $7,500. And I flew out there with my display and I exhibited. And that was a major turning point. Again, I had to borrow it. I put the cart before the horse, so to speak. I then went on to grow 4 additional online businesses: No Hassle Social Media, Success Advantage Publishing, Custom Article Generator, and then I launched in 2009 the Dream Business Mastermind and Coaching Program. All of these businesses came as a result of me ponying up and investing in myself because I wanted to achieve the success that I knew I was capable of, and I wasn't going to be the trying to think of a clean way. I wasn't going to be the moron who held me back. All right. The bottom line was this. I truly believed that, again, in my heart, that I was going to be successful. A wise mentor once said something to me because he knew I was struggling with money, and my $40,000 in credit card debt quickly grew to 80, and it was actually over 100,000 at one point. And he said, Jim, I know you're anguishing over this debt as you grow these different businesses, but let me tell you something. You can't save your way out of debt. You must grow your way out of debt. And he did an exercise with me. He said, let's talk about No Hassle Newsletters. You have, I think at the time I had 60 members paying me, somewhere between, $50 a month and $200 a month. And he said, what if you add 100 new members? What would that mean to you? And I quickly did the math, and I figured out if I had 100 new members, I would pay off all my debt in about 14 months. So instead of figuring out, oh God, what expenses can I cut? I upped it again, and I started doing more paid ads. I started getting No Hassle Newsletters out there in front of more people. I started getting more and more members. So I actually grew my way out of debt. One of the expressions I like, which I think helps to sell this point, is wealth rewards risk and wealth rewards speed. You have to move quickly in business, but if you make small, safe bets, there's no way in the world you should expect a big payoff. Big payoffs come from big bets. I also believe you can absolutely purchase speed in your business by connecting with a coach or a mentor with a proven track record and joining a mastermind, because you really start riding the coattails of the collective brain power. Let me share with you a couple short, powerful ways that you can get your mind programmed away from the negative thoughts you have about money. So number one, instead of saying, I can't afford that. Suppose you want to join a mastermind. Suppose you want to work with a coach. Suppose you want to do some paid marketing. Whatever that investment looks like, and you say, I can't afford that. That is it's a declarative statement. Pardon me. Coming right off my group mastermind call, starting to lose my voice. That is a declarative negative statement. It shuts down the creative process in your brain. So instead of saying, I can't afford this, you want to say, what has to happen for me to be able to afford it? I'll say it again because I think I stumbled. What has to happen in order for me to be able to afford this? Your brain then goes into figuring it out. So like when I joined that mastermind at $400, which the checkbook said, Jim, you don't have it. And I said, yeah, but if I get a new company or if I get some new marketing and I grow and I can bring in another $400 a month, I can then at least be cash flow neutral, and then I'll keep growing from there. So your brain goes into creative function mode. How you think about money, I think people have some very warped thoughts about money. I certainly did. Money, is it a symbol of how successful you are? It's a yardstick. Money is a tool. I think some people are way too emotional about money, right? Money is a tool. You need money to live. You need money to grow, to invest, etc. But it has no reflection on who you are as a human being. That's a big, big topic. So I'll just leave it there. But some of the programming that I think we have about mindset is not our fault. Some of it's on our upbringing. Some of it is crap you hear on the news or other shows. There's one topic I want to mention. It's called top of the stairs thinking. Now, in my own home, when I was growing up, if my brother and I were sent up to our rooms to go to bed at early, I don't know, who cares, 8 o'clock, whatever, we would sometimes sit at the top of the stairs and hear my parents talking. I don't think we can go on vacation this year. Do they actually need new shoes? Can we get another 6 months out of their jeans? Maybe we're not going to do steak. Maybe we'll do hot dogs. But there's conversations that you're hearing, which is building into your psyche that there's a limited supply of money. Now, there was a limited supply based on my dad's salary at the time, but there's not a limited supply of money in this world, in this universe. There is enough money for everybody that brings enough value. So top of the stairs thinking, maybe you can reflect on your own childhood. But anyway, the other thing I want to share with you is one of the things that wreaks havoc, I think, with entrepreneurs is what I call if only excuses. If only I had more education. If only the economy were better. If only I could just start again. If only I had been luckier. If only my parents had more money and were more supportive. If only I could clean up my debts. If only I had a few more customers. If only. If only are excuses. You can have results or you can have performance. You can have excuses or you can have results. Sorry. So my goal for these trainings is to be like 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not going to be here for an hour, so I'm already almost up 20 minutes. I'm going to close out with some thoughts on prosperity thinking. And the other thing I want to tell you is, as I opened up my books free, this book here, Decide, you get free. This is the mindset book. This is one of the best entrepreneurial mindset books you can get. I suggest you get a copy of it and download it. It was the hardest of the 6 books that I wrote because I felt like I was on the therapist's couch. I was divulging all the crap that went in my head, but I also shared how I got over it, what I did to grow my dream business and multiple businesses. So Decide is a really good place to go. But I want to share some thoughts with you on prosperity thinking by an author. I think it's called Millionaire Mindset, but T. Harv Eker is the author. And this has to do, the phraseology that he uses is rich people versus poor people. Of course, there's no war there, but it's how some people think. So just be okay with the language. But as I say these different thoughts, think about which camp you fall into. And it may anyway, rich people believe that I create my life. Poor people think life happens to me. Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game not to lose. Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people want to be rich. Rich people think big, poor people think small. Rich people focus on opportunities. Poor people focus on obstacles. Rich people admire other rich people and successful people. Poor people tend to resent rich and successful people. Think about that one. Rich people associate with positive, successful, forward-minded people, thinkers. Poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. Was it Jim Rohn, the great management and leadership guru, said, you are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with? That's true. If you're growing your own entrepreneurial business and your own success, but you're hanging out with 5 people who are still bemoaning the fact that they don't have a dollar raise in 2 years or something like that, that's really going to affect your mindset. Rich people act in spite of fear. Poor people let fear stop them every time. So, folks, that's just really skimming the surface, but you really must understand that in a lot of cases, what's holding back the growth of your business is not the latest plugin, widget, module, training, seminar. It's what's going on right here. The greatest battle you will ever face. I'm an entrepreneur 20 years now. The greatest battle you're ever going to face on your way to success is right here. You fix your mindset, and even if you have shortcomings in the area of skill, or maybe you don't even have the greatest marketing, mindset fixes everything if you have the courage to act on it. Now, next week, what I'm going to do next Tuesday for part 2 of Captain Jim's Summer of Success series. Next week, I'm going to share some tips with you about how to overcome your fear of criticism and how to overcome perfectionism. Both of those really prevent people from moving forward, doing some great marketing, etc. I'll tip my hat just a little bit to make sure you come. So the last 3 books that I wrote them and published them in 60 days. The first book I wrote, it took me 18 months. In reality, it took me about 9 months to write and 9 months to get the guts to publish the damn thing, because I was so nervous what other people would think. Oh my God, Jim's a boob. He can't even spell, blah, 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 blah. All this head trash. And I'll share exactly how I get over that. So anyway, that's next week. I'll probably cover a few more things, but you can count on me for covering fear of criticism and fear of perfectionism. If either one of those is holding you back, let me know. You can connect with me in addition to right here on Facebook Live. You can connect with me at getjimpalmer.com. If you're interested in the Dream Business Mastermind and Coaching Program, that is that URL, dreambizcoaching.com. It's by application only. You can't just go join. You and I have to have a conversation about that. And if you want to check out my new, again, VIP private masterclass, if you want to learn everything about how to really substantially increase your money from learning how to sell from the stage, whether it's a virtual stage, a real stage, or just doing great interviews, that is howtosellfromthestage.com, howtosellfromthestage.com. And if I can help you master your mindset, consider joining the Dream Business Mastermind and Coaching Program. But until this time next week, another fantastic training. I am Captain Jim Palmer, the Dream Business Coach. You take good care.